All right, live from the survival pod out here in the wasteland. This is Freedom Phil, and what's the topic today? By the way, like and subscribe. Did the post, the short about the bologna. Like, where's the bologna? BS bologna. And got a lot of views on that short. But what I thought was funny was some of the comments. It's just like almost Magic the Gathering style word legalese. Well, it says this and that. No. It says makes about 14 sandwiches. So why are they only 11 slices? What am I going to make that out of the fucking thin air? Yeah, Freedom Phil, like, subscribe. Let's get into it. Hey, turn up the video speed. Why do I always say that? Because if you're watching my videos at regular speed, what are you doing? That's what the channel is named for. Turn it up to 1.75 when I upload this. Yeah, turn up the video speed, like, subscribe. Let's get into this. What I find funny about it is, and some of it's probably robots, but some of it's just literally people. They're like, yeah, but it says the word this and that. Okay, motherfucker, when you put on the packaging that it says makes 14 sandwiches, I don't care if they want to cut it a little thinner, but maybe that's the truth. They already know they've cut the bologna so thin, they go any thinner, people ain't buying it. Like, by the way, I know a lot of people hate on bologna, but I think it's okay, man. It's like, I used to love getting a cold cut combo. I'm sitting there looking at this, I'm like, okay, so you plan for 14 sandwiches. You set up the supplies for 14 sandwiches. You pre-prep all of it. You got the mayonnaise, you got the mustard, you got some onions, you got the pickles, any other sort of things, seasoning or whatever. You know, you got it all ready to go. 2 coolers covered with the bread ready to go. And then you put the cheese on all of it. And then you put on the meat. And you get through that and you're like, hey, where's the other 3 slices? See, I could say, if it says approximately, about. No, you're inciting, you are telling people, hey, 14 sandwiches. That's what you're saying. But you're using the word, it's just like bullshit with Magic the Gathering. The word kind of says this, and let's get the judges to rule, and you get these dumb motherfuckers that come out there simping, and they're like, well, they're just trolling. Yeah, they are. That's probably just trolling. I get it. Well, they said this and that. Let me give you some food for thought here. If you went to the gas station and they shaved off 10% of each gallon, people would be fucking furious. If you went and your boss was paying you but shaving off 15% of your paycheck, and you just didn't know it, you'd be fucking furious. Yet, when it comes to grocery stores, and so many businesses we deal with, and this is part of the reason I don't like when people say, why don't you like living in houses? I own a house up north. I did a full remodel on it. I just don't feel like wasting my time living that way for the rest of my life. I actually like the way that I am. But you know one thing I really fucking hate about houses? And Aaron Clare was talking about this the other day. He was right about this. He was working on this, outdoor sprinkler system at a place he stays in, the Southern Command. Let's just say that. And when he dug up where the problems were, the people who did the irrigation system used leftover used hose. They put plugs in places there were holes for some other job. You see, I am sick and tired in society of when I go to the store. For instance, when I'm in the store, I'm going to go get some boxes of some other stuff I buy, and I'm going to go put it on the scale in the vegetable aisle. I want to see exactly how much that weighs. In fact, are we going to get to the point in society where we're going to have to start packing our own personal digital scales around to make sure we're not getting butt-fucked by a company? Are they going to start doing weird shit like, you notice how back in the day, and they've had boxes forever, but back in the day, you get, the pasta, for instance, in the plastic. Rice, it always comes that way generally. Are they going to start doing the numbers where it's actually we save this much on pasta, fine pasta, are the premium brand companies. We save this much on pasta if we make the cardboard box this more durable. Like literally trying to shave off like so much of a percent per year, and this is talking, God knows how many multiple millions of dollars. Well, see, that's a new yacht for the CEO. I am so sick of situations in society, like when you go out to eat and there's hidden fees. You deal with you don't want to go to a mechanic because you don't know if this guy's like the dentist that magically manages to find a lot of shit that ain't wrong. I swear to God, a lot of my dental work as a child was literally that. It was literally some guy getting rich off my mom's government dental plan. She worked a government job. She had decent dental for the family. That guy getting his tax dollars back, grinding on my mouth. That mechanic magically finding something. Oh, this is what's wrong. Full well knowing it's something cheap. The Bar S Bologna Gate, it's just an example. In fact, I got another short video where I count the fucking slices. And by the way, I bought the bigger pack. The one pack says makes 10 sandwiches. I bought the bigger pack because it was like 30 cents more. I thought, well, for 30 cents, that's a pretty good deal. Turns out it's not. I'm only getting one more slice of bologna, but maybe when I go to the store today, because I got to go into town to pick up an order, maybe I'll count up the small pack and see is it only 8 slices? Is it 7? Makes 10 sandwiches. I am sick of this society that is hell-bent on basically trying to bend us all over every fucking day to try to screw us out of a few pennies. And that's part of the reason I'm a minimalist. Just like I absolutely hate the water bill up there where my house is at. Whether I'm there to drink it or not, I still got to pay $130 a month. I will half my cost of living the day I get rid of that house. Why don't you rent it out? Can I trust the people that are renting it not to fuck up the place? Can I trust them to actually pay the rent? I'm so sick of the society that's always trying to screw over the next man next to him. You can't just produce. You can't just do what you say. Like, I don't know. Look, it's wishful thinking to think we're going to have honest people in this fucking world. But sometimes I look at some of these other cultures where there's consequences. If you rip somebody off, your name being drugged down to the mud will ruin your business, or people will kick the shit out of you. If you steal from people in other cultures, you might get an ass whooping and some jail time. But corporations, business owners like tradesmen, all looking to cut corners. Oh, they'll do their house the right way. But you see some of the cheap shit that goes on. Like, go look at a big new housing development. And sometimes you'll see some cheap, chintzy shit going on. It's fucking Bologna Gate. All across the country. They act like I have a family member, for instance. And this is part of the reason this one particular concrete guy, he's really good at what he does, but he billed her for a whole extra, it was like a couple $1,000s of concrete. He billed her for more concrete than he used. And she looked at the numbers and rationed it out and says, why am I being charged this much extra for this? Well, he got all pissed off. You know why he got pissed off? Because he got caught. And she's like, no, you're trying to rip me off. And guess what? She didn't have to pay it. But the only reason that she didn't get screwed out of that couple thousand or however many $1,000, can't remember the exact number, is because she literally knew how to do basic mathematics. She looked at the numbers, just like with Bologna Gate. I was making 14 sandwiches because it says makes about 14 sandwiches. I thought that was sus when I read it, by the way. But then I thought, come on, they're not going to it's bologna. Bar S has been around forever. They're not going to screw this up. And I get to that, and I'm like, it makes 11 sandwiches. Like I said, I'm just tired. And part of the reason I'm a minimalist, it's like I said to my brother-in-law, we were talking about well, dude, you could get a place and bury a Connex box. I'm like, yeah, but if I leave a Connex box buried, I'm gonna have to hide the motherfucker. I'm gonna have to do all this stuff, and then there's always the chance that when I'm off in some other part of the country, I got the northern area up there in the northwest, I got the place up in the Rocky Mountains, and then I've got down here, and I'd like to get some land down here. But if I leave something down here, I gotta hopefully come back to it still being there. Let me tell you how easy it is. Let me tell you the ultimate skeleton key. Y'all, probably I shouldn't teach you this. It's called a fucking rock. Your security system, someone dressed up like a ninja can get into your house, get what they want. Ninja in, ninja out, into the vehicle, gone. Rock. Rock breaks through window. Do you want to live in a world where you got to have bars on your windows all the time? You got to pay for a security system? Because you can't trust the motherfuckers. Connex box. Well, it ain't got no windows. Yeah, but the lock on it is what? Bolt cutter? Let's see. I got a heavy duty lock. Battery powered, what is it? Wire wheel? Not wire wheel. You know what I mean. Grinder. Battery powered grinder. I don't want to build anything anymore in this society. I'd rather have an RV and one of those pop-up 10 by 30 canopies with a bunch of skewers down. Because I pick up, if I had like an RV and a Ford Maverick behind it, I could pick up and take whatever I want. I could put a boat on the top of the Ford Maverick, have a luggage rack for it, and just pick up and go. All my stuff, my camp, it'd be like the circus. We ain't leaving. The only thing we'd leave is some shit. You guys ever remember that as a kid? I'm old enough to remember the circus. Circus come to town. There's that one place in town that's always a big parking lot. Usually, maybe it's a bargain farmer's market, swap meet sometimes. But when the circus comes to town, they put it there. And after they leave, there's always some animal shit. They showed up there. They put on a big show, and they pulled down all those tents, all those stands, and they moved on down the road. That is what I will be doing. And part of it comes down to I live in a society where if it's not someone that's fucking drug-addled trying to rip me off, it's the grocery store trying to rip me off. You could try to blame it on shrinkflation. No, it's just people being opportunistic. It's your dentist. It's your doctor. Your doctor trying to prescribe you some fucking pills because he gets a kickback. That's part of the thing, the sleep apnea thing. How many doctors are getting kickbacks for diagnosing dudes, get them on sleep app machines? The shit was criminal. Construction workers, chintzing on the work. Whoever can save a buck and then put it on you. You want another example? I've cleaned up a bunch of garbage sites back in the day when I was a garbage man. I'd go to places I'd park and I'd just kind of clean them up. You know who was making that? People who weren't van lifers. Fucking construction workers. People like where their grandma gave them some money to go to the dump and they just dumped the garbage in some vacant lot. And then they took off, went and bought beer or pot with the fucking money. Now, we live in a shitty society full of thieving ass people. Bologna Gate is everywhere. It starts with noticing the baloney, and then it goes over to straight up realizing that it's everything else. That's why if you find a mechanic, this is one of the reasons I didn't buy a truck. I could have bought a good used truck back in the day. I could have bought a good semi. I wanted a 99 or older semi, a Detroit 60 series. That's what I wanted. But then I realized I got to find a mechanic. And by the way, a lot of how people treat you is how they perceive you. They look at you, and if you're a woman and you're too beautiful, they think you're dumb. They'll do stuff for you, but they might think they can get one over on you. If you're a guy and you're not so good at looking, I'm not the best looking guy. I'm not ugly, but I'm certainly not handsome. And as I get older, I'm more Shrek-like every year. I know I'm going to have to deal with a bunch of motherfuckers. So finding somebody who's not a motherfucker, like when it comes to a mechanic, no, that's gold. You find that guy, he's on your Christmas list. Hey man, here's $100 for Christmas. Thanks for the good work. Here's a tip. You got to, if you find a handful of people that you can do business with that aren't trying to butt fuck you, that are honest, legit Joes. Like one example I heard someone talking about is like, you got a furnace problem. And it turns out the furnace problem is it's really just a sensor. But they bill you up for a bunch of shit that wasn't even wrong. And you're like, why the hell would I want to deal with that? It starts with the bologna. The can makes about 14 sandwiches, only realistically makes 11. And then it switches over to so many other things in our world. That's part of the reason that I like the minimalist lifestyle I live. The less I got to deal with people that are trying to fuck me in the ass on a regular basis, the better off I feel. It's gotten to the point in my life when I see someone rolling up here, they might be decent people, they might not be. But if you're actually acting like a human to me, I've got to be suspicious of what you're up to. Then I'll be thinking to myself, is this person who I've talked to off and on, are they just really, like, I know I've had enough people that have tried to case a situation, the old stoner smokies. Most of them are okay. But I see someone like that, eventually I'm thinking, is this guy casing my situation to figure out if when I'm gone, like they notice my bike's gone, they're driving. Part of the reason I'm moving back to the hill, because I like my privacy up on that hill. Danger be damned, I miss my privacy. You know, and I'm gonna have to figure out something about those ricochets, but I'm telling you, man, I'm not just out here because I like the wilderness. I like the desert. I'm out here because society is literally just someone trying to sell you 14 and only makes 11 sandwiches. Most of the world is Bologna Gate. Yeah, this is Freedom Phil like to subscribe. Let's get into it. Take it easy. Yeah. Peace.